This is the Aftermarket Radio Network.
Welcome to another episode of Business by the Numbers. I'm your host, Hunt Demarest, CPA with Parmelis & Associates. And I know a lot of you guys got your ERTC money, the Employee Retention Tax Credit. Maybe not all of it, but you got some of it. Maybe you got it, but you don't know what to do with it, and you haven't got around to paying tax on it. Yeah, you have to pay tax on that. Or maybe you're just sitting here thinking, Hunt, I'm not really sure if I got all of it or not, and I'm not really sure what to do. Well, I got good news. That is exactly what we're going to talk about this week. And for the first time in a long time, we actually have some information, not only from the IRS of what they say they're going to do, but firsthand of what I'm actually seeing with shops. Before we get into that, I just want to stop and say thank you to you and the rest of the dedicated listeners. Remember, if you want your question answered on here, just have a question for me or an idea for a future episode, shoot me an email at podcast@parmelis.com. And lastly, we cannot forget our dedicated sponsors, NAPA TRACS and Promotive, for being such loyal supporters of the show. Hey, did you know NAPA TRACS has on-site training plus 6 days a week support? It all starts when a local representative meets you to learn more about your business and how you run it. After all, it's your shop, so it's your choice. Let us prove to you that TRACS is the single best shop management system in the business. Visit them online at napatracs.com. That's napatracs.com. Promotive makes automotive recruitment simple. They go beyond the job boards and take care of every aspect of the recruiting process, giving you more time to focus on your shop and your customers. Visit them on the web at gopromotive.com. What we're talking about this week is actually news that came out from the IRS a couple months ago. This came out at the end of June, and I actually put a little bookmark on it because, let's be honest, talk is cheap. They've came out a ton of times and said a lot of things that they were going to do, but they are an aspect of the government, and it is hugely, hugely political. So before we get into what they said, let me tell you why this is a bit political. What we have here, this is not to slander IRS employees. You can tell from the tone of my voice, I have a general disdain for the IRS. No offense to the people that work there. It's just kind of my job. My job is we are probably going to be fighting a lot. Also, we don't have some of the hardest workers over there sometimes, and I feel like that their lack of work creates more work for me. But anyways, I digress. So the reason of why this is very political is because it is exactly that. It is a 100% political program that was shoved in the IRS's laps. The IRS never voted. They never wanted to do this ERTC. It was done by the politicians. Hey, we're going to give back COVID, yada, yada, yada. And now what the IRS was given was a massive steaming pile of you-know-what. The way that they did this credit, the way that we had to file these returns, they could not have done it in a way that creates more work for the IRS agents, IRS employees. I am not going to disagree with that 100%. I think that there was also a large faction of this that they were hoping if they put enough public pressure out there of this is insurmountable, it's never going to happen, there is so much fraud going on, that the same politicians that push this on them would pull it back off of them and say, guys, you know what? You've done a ton, you've done a lot, but we're not going to make you guys do it anymore. The reason why I waited a couple months on this news is because if you would have asked me, and some of you guys listening can attest to this, a couple months ago, and even earlier this year, when they put a moratorium on processing these and paying them out, I said I think they're done. I know people that used to work for the IRS employees, the employees union, they have a very strong union there, was not happy. They do not want to get this done. Still, that option is open here. As we'll talk about in a little bit, if you look at the numbers that they've processed, if they continue at the same speed with the same manpower, I think it's going to take 25 years. But again, politics, right? If you're the good union, do you come out and say, hey, we can do this and we're going to have it all done in the next 6 months with no overtime? Or do you say, guys, don't even make us try to do this, because even if we do what we have done and we think that these ones coming up are going to be harder, it's going to take us 2 decades. I don't know. But we'll talk a little bit about that in a second here. To what the IRS said. The IRS came out and they said, yada, 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 yada. We've been working on this. We've been working tirelessly. We haven't stopped, yada, yada, yada. That was a lie. You can now tell why my radar is already up. Guys, we know you told us that you had not been processing these, that you guys had put a hold on this, and no one had received money for a very long time. And even the agents that we talked to said that you guys had not been working on this. Yet, in this big letter, you tell us that you have been. You can tell why I don't trust what they say very much. They also said that we have successfully, this is just like when anyone goes and, they do a big drug bust, right? It's a little bit of pomp and circumstance. We've delivered $86 billion over this many hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they have processed the majority of the returns that they've got in. I think it might be a little bit of clever wording there. Have they done 51% of what they received? Maybe. They're not very forthright with their numbers. Arguably, if they have, it's maybe barely. But again, we don't really believe that much of what they say. Here's the big meat and potatoes. So all the stuff that they said before, again, it was just backstory. It was just numbers. It didn't really say what everyone wants to know. Guys, what are you going to do? You haven't done anything. You said you're going to stop it. You said you'd get back to us, and you have not got back to us. So what they did say, and this has turned out to be the only truth so far, yet one of these is still open, is that we are going to split you guys into 3 different groups. And when I say you guys, I mean people that are still waiting for the ERTC money. Whether you've submitted a claim, it's in process, has not been processed, whatever. They claimed that they were able to somehow put all of these into 3 different groups. Now, I'm guessing that some of this just has to do with how much money you want back. Everything has to do with materiality. If they think it's very risky, but you're only asking for $3,000 back, it's not risky. If they think it's kind of risky and you're asking for $3 million, and now it's very risky. I think you get the deal. So what they said is there are going to be 3 groups. 10% in a group they call the low risk, 10% again in the high risk. It's like actually 10 to 15, and it works out to be like 60 to 70% work into a third group, which is called higher than acceptable risk. Clever. So let's go down through what these groups are and where you would fall in them. The low risk group was what they said was 10 to 15% of the applications or the returns that they had received that they felt were very low risk or extremely low risk. Again, it probably means that they were very cut and dry or very low dollar figures. They said that they were going to expeditiously get those things paid. And I believe that there was 3 different rounds. One has already happened, the second of which should be happening, I think, in September. And the final of those was in October. Again, those dates I just gave you are not official. The IRS never came out and said that. This is more or less chatter and what we hear. I have seen the first date firsthand. I saw some money get freed up on here. So I do know a couple of you guys were in the low risk groups because I have seen money start to move. If you think you're in a low risk, you're never going to know. They're not going to tell you this. But if you already got money here in the last month or so, if you get money here in the next couple of weeks or next couple of months, that means you're probably in the low risk. And what they're trying to do is get you guys paid in full, get you off, get you done. I would have to say that if you've gotten 85% of your money in this program, that you should be getting the rest here in the next couple of months. Again, what do I know? Who knows? But that would only make sense. Are some of you going to be stuck in a weird limbo and maybe might never even get it? Yeah, I already have some of those people in this group and a handful that have already given up on this. NAPA TRACS has made selecting the right shop management system easy by offering the industry's best, most comprehensive SMS. It all starts when a local representative meets with you to learn about your business and how you need to run it. After all, it's your shop, so it's your choice, and having a local representation is a huge plus. Customizing TRACS to your business, whether you're a one-person shop or a large multi-bay or multi-location company, our representative consults with you to help optimize your shop's workflow, efficiency, and profitability. And unlike the other guys, we'll be there for you after installation with the best training and support in the business with a learning management system tailored to each role in your company. Simply put, TRACS was designed and built for shop owners just like you. Visit us on the web at napatracs.com. That's NAPATRACS.com. Are you tired of spending endless hours searching for the perfect talent to join your team? Promotive is your full-service automotive staffing solution. At Promotive, we believe in being more than just a recruiting agency. We become an extension of your team, working tirelessly to ensure we place the right talent with the right shops. With our always be recruiting mindset, we're constantly seeking out the best professionals in the industry. We manage 90 to 95% of the recruiting process, taking the burden off your shoulders. When you partner with Promotive, you gain a dedicated recruiter and account manager who will work closely with you, understanding your unique requirements and seeking out candidates who fit seamlessly into your shop's culture. We'll ensure that every candidate we present is thoroughly vetted and aligned with your needs. With Promotive, you'll have a peace of mind knowing that we're handling the recruitment process with expertise and precision. We don't just match resumes, we match character, culture, and long-term success. Visit our website at gopromotive.com today and experience the power of Promotive's expertise and dedication. Together, we'll build a stronger and more successful team. If you were in the high risk category, you would have already known about this as well too. So this high risk is what they called extremely high risk, that they claimed that they were already actually reaching out to these people. These claims are either so big, which is not always the case because I've had some people with millions of dollars claims get filled, but these were so big and so risky that they said, hey, we're not even going to talk about giving you money and we're going to already be contacting you right now. All of the criminal complaints have come out of this one. All of the criminal filings have been people before they've got funded. They actually got, investigated before any of this has happened. I'm guessing that 10% is what you and I all think it is. 100%, hey, they'd even do this correctly. They'd even try to hide the fact they were hoping to slip under the radar and they got caught. If you're in that category on it, I can't help you. I don't think that you are. If you did a 100% fraudulent ERTC program, should you be concerned? Absolutely. You committed fraud. So I don't know what else to tell you there. But do I think anyone truly listening to this is in here, right? An innocent person that's going to be gripped up in that? No, not at all. Pretty much everyone else, and I'm going to go with that this number is probably higher than 60, 70%, is in this category that they call higher than acceptable risk, which means by their definition, that there is risk and it's higher than acceptable for them to go and process these claims without contacting you. And the crappy part about all this updates is the majority are still in this higher than acceptable risk. And what they've told us is we are going to work on these. That's it. If you've got some money or you get some money in the next couple months, hopefully your end of the saga is over. If you've been contacted that you're under criminal investigation, your adventure is probably over as well too, just in a much different way. If you haven't heard anything, you can try to call. You're probably not going to get any information, but you're probably in the same boat that we were before, where we just have to wait and see. If I hear people start to get documents requests, things like that, like they say that they're going to get, I will let you guys know. I will tell you firsthand, I have not had a single person even have a document request of, hey, we're going to process this. We want to see your W-2s or we want to see this worksheet. I haven't seen any of that yet. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Just haven't seen it firsthand. Doesn't mean that these will all get processed, but as of right now, the good news is that they are planning to pay everything that is accurately presented to them, filed, amended, whatever. To wrap all this up, we got to talk about taxes real quick. This kind of predicated this episode too because we kind of cleaned house on some of our clients that were in this limbo period. I don't want to get into the tax side of it too deeply. We've went through this before. The general idea, though, is if you are getting a credit, which for ERTC, you're getting a 2020 or 21 year payroll tax credit, the IRS wants you to go back and amend those years, 2020, 2021, income tax returns to pick up that income. Are you paying tax on the credit? Technically, no. But what you are not able to do is deduct the wages that you use for that credit for the credit and income taxes. So in essence, you are paying tax on it. This should not be new information to you. If it is new information, call your accountant. They will be able to explain how, when. They might have already handled it for you and you didn't even notice. If you got the ERTC, you got it all in full, and you have not filed your taxes on it, I recommend to do so. You need to do it. There's no way getting around it. The IRS has said that one of their things is even if you do everything by the book on ERTC, there's a possibility that if you don't capture that correctly on your income taxes, that they could throw out the credit too. If you've already got your money, all of it, do your taxes and be done. What we did for our clients is the ones that had got 50, 70% of it, we were probably waiting to get the remainder of it and going to file the taxes and amend it all at once. What we did last month is we said, hey, whatever you got is what you got. We're going to stop this. We're going to file these taxes. We're going to claim whatever we've received as income. Now, if we end up receiving that remaining $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 this year or next year, we will capture as income for those years when we get it. Seems to be the way most accountants are doing it. But like I said, if you have not received all of it and still have not received paid taxes on it, call your accountant up and just see what they're thinking. Does not mean that that's the right thing to do. That's what we're doing for our clients. If you are a Parmelis client, you don't need to call up. Unless you've never told anyone that you've got the ERTC, yeah, call us up, I guess, but we track all this stuff. Big Brother's always watching you guys. Anyone that we had in the limbo, we had you guys tracking on a list. we've already decided, and you've been contacted if we are going to pay some tax on it. Kind of like the IRS and ERTC. If you have not got a phone call from us, unfortunately, for the ERTC, that's probably good news because you're never going to get a refund. You're always going to pay tax. Hopefully this was helpful for you. As always, please share this with friends, fellow shop owners, and this is outside of the automotive industry. If you got another self-employed friend, maybe someone that's been asking about the ERTC, appreciate you sharing this information with them. As always, if you have any comments, ideas, or want to be a guest on a future episode, shoot me an email at podcast@parmelis.com. Thanks again for listening to the Aftermarket Radio Network. You can find all shows on aftermarketradionetwork.com and on your favorite podcast listening app. Thanks again for joining me on Business by the Numbers. Stay safe out there, and I will talk to you all next week.
You've been listening to Business by the Numbers with Hunt Demarest on the Aftermarket Radio Network. Follow Hunt on your favorite podcast listening app. Let him know what you'd like him to cover. His email is in the show notes. Hunt is all for advancing the aftermarket.